there's a huge hype that AI will replace humans. It's doomsday, and all these kind of noise we hear in the market. But I think one area which you are an expert and you have kind of experienced that is what you call as human centered AI, right? And so I remember reading about one of your articles, and you have fantastic coverage across these topics. And one of them was collective responsibilities in shaping AI's future, right? And you mentioned about approaching an event horizon with AI. So, for our listeners who are typically, let's say, the CXOs and different decision makers across different functional groups in enterprises, what does this moment mean for enterprises today?
Well, let me just step back one place and talk about the human piece just for a moment, and then lean into the enterprise component. I have worked in technology for more than 30 years. And I've worked with some incredibly smart, thoughtful, innovative people. And I've been fortunate enough to be part of some incredible teams over those years. And I can tell you categorically that the biggest challenges that any project or any organization has had have overwhelmingly been around people, around the humans, not the technology. Sure, technology breaks, but more often than not, the problems an organization are facing around technology are because of the gaps around people, people's awareness, people's knowledge, people's understanding of what the technology is capable of, what the technology is not capable of, and so on and so on. So if you recognize that people are really at the center of what we do, both the good and the bad and the challenges, you can then think about that from an enterprise perspective and say, okay, yes, there's a new capabilities around technology, around generative AI right now in particular. How are we going to leverage those? You have to also at the same time ask the question, what are the human implications of these? So when I talk about an event horizon, the reality is many companies have already crossed an event horizon as it relates to AI. They are already, or parts of their organizations are already leveraging generative AI to solve business problems. They're either doing that intentionally, and in most cases, they are doing it because they're being dragged towards it because the products and the platforms and the services they leverage have embedded elements of generative AI.
Right.
So that event horizon has been crossed either intentionally or by association. And then the question is, are you allowing gravity basically to pull you in, or are you figuring out how to leverage that change, how to optimize that change to better service your customers, to better service your employees, and ultimately deliver better outcomes? And I would suggest that in most cases, the answer is no.
Very interesting.